Hey everybody, I have made well over $120,000 selling books on Amazon. And if I can do it, you can do it. I truly believe this is a business anyone can do. So stay tuned and I'm going to give you my 5 tips to KDP success so that you can make some money selling books online too. All right, hi everybody. I'm Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I am here live today to answer your questions and give you some tips and tricks. And I'm pretty much here most Wednesdays live, so please come and join me live or watch my YouTube. Sign up, click the like button, make comments. I love all that sort of stuff. Check in the show notes. You can join my Facebook group too. All right, so what we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to share with you so you have proof that, I actually made $120,000. So here is my lifetime earnings from Amazon for just books. And you can see I've made in just US royalties, I made 122, maybe it's kind of small, but it says 122,218 and 51 cents or something like that. And then you can see I've made in pounds, 12,000 pounds, and you can go down the list. So I just kind of went through and said over 120K, but I've probably made more like 140K, something like that. Well, very Merry Christmas from Belgium. And so thanks for being here live. You can go to about, oh yes, that would be a great idea. I've been looking for ideas. So sorry those who are not live, but yes, someone suggested creating a YouTube about printables that are selling on Etsy. That will be my next one. So, but let me do my 5 things because I want people who are watching this in the recording to get their 5 things, and afterwards you guys can answer me lots of questions. Okay, so I have 5 tips, and I think the first tip, it's really kind of in depth, the first tip. The first tip is start with the end in mind. Which is kind of a different tip. Most people don't really think of it like this. And that kind of comes with a lot of things. So I'm going to kind of go through. So tip 1 actually has a ton of tips within it. And I think they're really key, and I think most people either don't understand them or don't get them. But they're really key, I think, to doing well in this business and to finding the place for you, creating low content books. Oh, and if you don't know what low content books are, they're things like activity books, puzzles, planners, journals, things that don't workbooks. They may have some words, but it's not like a novel, right? It's more of a people fill it out, put things in it, coloring books, things like that. So that's what a low content book is. It's kind of a made up term. We've come up with this. So let me do the first tip. So start with end in mind, and it kind of covers a few things. Research the gap in the market and the need. And I'm going to give you, there's lots of ways to do that. You can use tools. You can search on Amazon. There's free tools, there's paid tools. All of those are great, but you really still, the tools are just tools, and it can find you, where there maybe is a higher demand, but not necessarily a bunch of products. So your competition is lower. So that's what you're looking for. And there's lots of ways and rules and tips, and you can watch all those. But what I want to go through is understanding what that means, because I think that's the thing that people miss out on when they do research. They just say, oh, look, there's a gap and there's low competition and it has low competition keywords. But so let me throw a book up there. And I don't think that is really with that thinking with the end in mind. What are you going to do with that gap? What are you going to do with the opportunity you've seen? So here's some of my things. First thing I do is I look and see, on Amazon, are the results relevant? So if I type in a keyword and it does produce, let's say 5,000 results, and you're saying, oh, that's too high of competition. Not necessarily. Look at what the results are on the first few pages. If after page 1, the results are not anything like having to do with that type of book, then you may not have as much competition as you think you do, because people might be typing in those words looking for a specific type of book. And if they're not finding it on the first 1 or 2 pages, it becomes irrelevant to them. So they stop, you have to fill kind of that gap. So what you're looking for is, are they relevant? If you type in the words, puzzle book for kids with seahorses, I know that's pretty specific, and nothing, a few books with seahorses come up, and there's different types of things, but it's not a puzzle book for kids with seahorses, then the person's not, it's not as high of competition as you think. Even if it returns 1,000 results or 10,000 or whatever, it may not be relevant to what the user is looking for. So look at what the results are and are they actually relevant to that keyword. So that's kind of something like a tool can't really tell you. You have to actually use your brain and some insight to do that. Then you do want to look to see, are these books selling with that particular keyword? Are they selling? Is someone buying them, right? So you're going to look at that BSR, bestsellers rank. Low is better, right? It's like golf. So number one in the bookstore is number one in the bookstore, which would be awesome. Okay, the next thing you want to start looking at is reviews. Do they have reviews? If they have a ton of reviews, it doesn't mean that you can't get into the market. Someone asked me this and I said, well, it's harder, but what you need to do is start looking through those reviews. What do the reviews say? Are there things that I saw one book that I actually do well with, and they said they wanted a 6x9, a smaller book size. It was an 8.5 by 11. And there was quite a few users who said, I love it, but I'd like something in a smaller size. So I created something different. It wasn't the exact same thing, but it was in the same niche, and I created a smaller size, and that started to sell because people wanted that. So looking through the reviews, even if they liked it, like I said, they loved the product, so it got 5 stars, but the actual review said they would like something in a smaller size. So that is something I can fulfill if I go through and read the book reviews and say, yes, I could do something like that. So reading the reviews is important because it can also give you insight into what customers actually want. The good reviews and the bad reviews are really helpful. So are there gaps? Are there improvements you can make on your books maybe? If you notice your reviews saying, hey, I'd like a smaller size, well, go make yourself a smaller size, right? Give people what they want, but also other people's. Is there an improvement? This is one I think people miss out on a lot. Can I make my title more appealing or focus it down on a specific niche to solve a problem or something like that? So let me give you an example because that sounds really vague. But what this is like, so let's say you decide to make a planner. And let's say you decide to niche down into social media planner. Okay, good. Now, what about making your title something like the 3-step social media planner to 100K followers, right? What it does is it says, oh, I want to get 100,000 followers, right? So you're giving them a short, like you're giving them a plan. Like the title says something. It says, it's like, those 7-minute abs or 5-minute abs. Can you get great abs in 2 minutes? Probably not. But I mean, you'll get better abs than if you didn't do anything, right? But it's that anticipation of here's a way, a method, numbers to get to a certain goal. So I think this is a title people often miss out on, especially if they're making something that's a little bit, I don't know, like a planner. Yeah, something that you get to a goal, right? A kid's coloring book, maybe your title has to just be more niche-y, like coloring book for seahorses, right? Kids who love seahorses. That could be specific to that niche. But I think oftentimes other things, we can actually focus in on a specific problem someone has and then give them an idea of what they can actually get from your book. So the 3 steps to getting 100K followers. Right, you're giving that solution. Oh, so my example for this is actually I'm in a group, an authors group that writes actual novels that's 20 to 50K. That's actually the name of the group. And it's the idea that you can write 20 fiction books and you create them in a series, and they have this whole kind of program to get 50K in passive income per year. That's kind of their goal for people. And they have kind of this system, but it gives me an idea of how to get to my end goal. I have to write 20 fiction novels, which sounds like a lot, but they're not necessarily long. They even have some people who do 20 novellas. So, shorter stuff, but that's the goal. They're trying to say anyone, if done right, can create 20 novels and get to 50K in passive income. That's kind of their motto. But it tells me what I want, what I need, and how to get to it. So that's something you can definitely think about when you think about your title. Are you explaining to people what your book will really offer them? Give them the picture, not just a social media planner, but a social media planner that has 3 steps and gets them to 100K followers. That's really specific and enticing to people. So think about your titles. You can do that. Now, the last one on my list for what you can do is start with the end in mind. My tip 1, right, is to how can I advertise it and who am I advertising it to? So when I create a book, I actually think about, how am I going to advertise this? Who am I going to advertise this to? And you can use, free advertising through social media, all the different types, or you can use paid Amazon. But really, you want to think about that before you start. And you don't necessarily have to start with paid advertising in the beginning, but you want to think about it because it helps you decide where you are going to be in the market. Because what most people do is they see a gap, they see that hole, that great keywords, but they don't decide where they are going to sit in the market. They don't decide how to position their product in the market. And when you start thinking about who you're going to advertise it to, how you're going to advertise it, then you are creating a position. And that really helps. So then the example of the social media planner, is it for women 30 to 45 who are on Facebook and Instagram, right? Maybe that's your focus for that social media planner. And you're going to give them some tips and tricks, and then you're going to have them, organize their calendar or whatever you're going to do in that social media planner so that they can get to 100K followers, all right? Okay, so that's kind of my tip one. That was just tip one. But honestly, I think if you really think of your product in that way, you think of your books in that way, it's a really different view than I think most people say. They just say, hey, get some keywords and throw some books up there, which can work, but I think that frustrates people more than it helps. Now, the next thing, some of the rest are pretty obvious, cover design. And it's not just about cover design, it's about cover design in a thumbnail. I was actually listening to someone else, and I totally agree with her that if it looks, sometimes it doesn't look as good big, but when you shrink it down to a thumbnail, it looks better. And so if you're trying to decide on your cover, like something, maybe you have two different things you're deciding on, or you're changing stuff around, shrink your cover down and see how it looks as a thumbnail. And then you can kind of make comparisons, because that thumbnail size is super important, because that is what people buy stuff off of. The big is good, but sometimes it's more important to focus on what it looks like tiny than it does when it's big. Quality interior design, right? Read reviews, make a good book. Decide what people are doing badly in the market, what they're doing well in the market, and then create something that fulfills, it did what you were trying to do in the first part. How are you going to position that product and position it well by creating a quality interior? Add value. I am forever adding value to my books. So I create planners, and then in the back, I'll create prompt books. And then in the back, I'll offer free coloring pages. Things like that really entice buyers to say, wow, they didn't just give me A, they gave me A, B, and C. And they come back and purchase other things within your niche. Or if it's something disposable, they'll purchase another one, right? If it's a social media planner, they can use every year. They'll, keep purchasing them because they like the value that you have to offer. Okay. Consistently publish. So tip number 4, right? So 1 was start with the end in mind. 2 is cover design. 3 is quality interior. And 4 is consistently publish. You need to come up with a publishing strategy that works for you. And it doesn't have to be 1 book a week. It doesn't have to be 1 book a day. It could be, 4 a year. It could be, something. It just has to be that you have something where you consistently put things out into the market, and then you start to decide, what's doing well, what isn't doing well. If something is doing well, then jump on it. Can you, if you kind of start with that end in mind and you say, I created this product to do this, what other things, can you add on? Like if it's social media planners, right? I don't know what else would go with a social media planner. Maybe it's just a planner. Maybe people really like how you lay out your social media planner, so they would be interested in your planner as well, right? So you can kind of branch out if you kind of decide what is doing well and what would be a complementary to that, so that you could add, either advertising, or you could put even, hey, if you enjoyed this book, you would love this at the back of your books. Get some, free advertising in. Okay. Last tip is learn advertising, whether that is free through social media, Pinterest, which I think is great. I'm going to be honest here. I did not do Pinterest ads this year, or Pinterest, not ads. I'm sorry, actually Pinterest posts, because I don't pay anything for Pinterest. And I really am regretting it for my Christmas sales. I'm still doing fine, but I honestly think that when I do Pinterest, I do better. So whether that's free or you learn Amazon advertising, that's fine. Now, I do want to caveat my fifth one. It's the reason I think it's super, super important, because if you want to grow your book business and kind of have it take a life on its own, I think learning advertising is huge. But I put it last because I think it's something that you can hold off on until you get the first few rights, right? You have to understand how to make a good book. You have to start selling those books. And then once you kind of, you're consistent, once you get that under your belt, figure out how you want to advertise. And then remember, if you started with the end in mind and you know who you're going to advertise to, like, it makes it easier. That step becomes so much easier if you know exactly who you made the book for, so you can advertise to that person, that avatar, right? Okay, so those were my 5 tips. Number 1 was really big, I know. I got a bunch of comments. I was not ignoring you, but I wanted to get through all that, and so let me go through. Okay, hello, Merry Christmas. From, let's see, Jacqueline, hello. New York Resources. Yes, thank you from New York. Not very far from me. Well, I live in Ohio right now, so it's not too far. Early season greetings from Mike. Thanks. Thanks, Mike, he says, thank you for all your videos through the years. Thank you. I enjoy this. Really, I do. I love to help you guys. I really do. Okay, so New York Resources Head NYC has a question. Quick question. What type of books can we turn into ebooks? Okay. So workbooks can turn into ebooks, because you can always say, if you do a workbook and you have exercises and things like that, like a workbook's good because you can have some information, and then you can say, hey, pull out, instead of before in a workbook, you would actually have, space for them to write out whatever answers. In a ebook, you could say, hey, pull out a piece of paper and do these exercises, right? So workbooks are easy to turn into ebooks. A lot of the low content books, it is hard. Workbooks are the easiest, I think, to turn into ebooks as far as that sort of stuff goes. You can't really have a coloring book that's an ebook. Now, that being said, you can sell it, as a lot of them, as a digital product on Etsy. So if it's a coloring pages that you have the commercial rights to, or you drew yourself or whatever, right? Always stay legal. Then you can sell a digital version on Etsy. The other idea that I was kind of working with is you can do like word searches and things like that. People could actually print those out, or with apps, they can actually, and you sell these on Etsy as a digital product, they can actually bring it into like OneNote, or there's a bunch of them, Notability. There's a bunch of them that they can bring it in up on their iPad or their Android device or whatever. And then they can actually, do the word search on their iPad. So they don't actually have to print it. So that's something that you can definitely do with a lot of products that may not work well as an ebook, but you can create a digital product that someone can either print on Etsy, or they can also, they could just bring up and import into one of their apps, so that they can, use their Apple Pencil or stylus to circle the words, or whatever color. Like, you can actually do coloring books. It's kind of fun. I have a few digital coloring books that you can color in through the various like Notability and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. I need to get starting ads. My best-selling books are gift journals in a very specific niche. Yes, especially if you are in a very specific niche, ads are going to be cheaper, only because the more specific you are, right, the cheaper an ad can be. Something you want to look out for is you don't want to use, so there's like exact wording, and there's also a phrase, and then I can't remember what the other one is. I think it's anything. It's like synonyms type stuff. So you might want to stick to the 2 type of ads that are like either exact wording, so it looks for the exact keywords, or the phrase, which is part of those keywords. You can look at the definitions. It actually has what the different ones are. But when I know that I don't want, because some of the synonyms that Amazon uses are not my target market, so I take those out. I only use usually exact wording, or I'm pretty sure it's phrase. You'll have to look. But that's something that can make your ads cheaper, because it's not just showing it to everybody. It's showing it to exactly who you want it to show to. Can you do some more videos about ads? Yes. Let me put that on there. So digital products and ads. Digital products. I know everyone always wants ads. I have an ads course that I'm going to update. Now that I'm getting my Christmas sales and stuff, I want to go through, because that's when I get my most sales. And my ads are really easy, much more to explain during Christmas because you have large amounts of sales and things like that. But I wanted to update my course. So let me write that down. Ads. Awesome. Thank you for ideas. Okay, so what software do I, wait. Oh, sorry, it moved. What software do you use for kitting your interiors and printables on Etsy? I actually use PowerPoint. You can use Canva, PowerPoint. Affinity has a great product that I actually have, but don't use because I'm so familiar with PowerPoint, and it's super, it's super good. I think it's great. Some people I know aren't as familiar with it, but I can manipulate PowerPoint pretty well. I was actually creating videos on PowerPoint as Christmas cards. So I created a video Christmas card on PowerPoint with the Carol of the Bells, and I had all the bells ring in time with, it was fun, just to see if I could do it. So you can do some crazy things on PowerPoint. Just look up on YouTube PowerPoint, like expert skills. You would be amazed. I watch those, and so I have a lot of fun. But that's what I use. But Canva works. Affinity is a good product. There's what's Photoshop's version? I can't remember. You can use Photoshop and do each one as a JPEG and put it in various ways. But I use PowerPoint because it's really honestly the easiest for me. But a lot of people use Canva, and that works great too. Let's see. I'm actually working on a workbook right now, and many pages have charts with checkboxes, a habit tracker. Yes. So what you could do with habit trackers and stuff like that. So an idea that you can do, I would check into Amazon's policies on this. So read the TOS, because they're a little bit picky about ebooks. But what you could possibly do is have them go to, in the ebook, have them go to a website to download a free habit tracker and call it like a bonus. Do look up the rules, because I know they've been fiddling with the rules, because some people were trying to abuse that and not really giving anyone anything in the book and making them go off and get things on other websites, which isn't what Amazon goal is. They want people to get an ebook and feel that they have value in that ebook. So read the rules, because they, I know, have been changing. But a possible idea is that you could say, hey, I'm offering this free bonus habit tracker. Go download that PDF right here. So that is something that you could possibly do. Like I said, please read the 2S, because I have not read that portion in a little bit. And I know they were switching it up because people were abusing the system. They weren't using it in the proper way. But something like that would be if you're giving them value in the ebook itself, right? Then that would probably be okay. But do read the TOS, please. Digital products. Yep. Hippie Gold says, fabulous, Ashley. Love your lives. Thank you for all the help in the past couple of months. And you've taken some ideas and made changes and made some sales. I'm so excited about that. I'm really glad that you made changes and made sales. That's awesome. I had actually somebody email or on my YouTube channel comment that they used one of the ideas I had in all my crazy niche videos, and they're making sales, and they're kind of making a name for themselves in that niche. So I think that's awesome. I'm honestly really happy to do that. I am not a niche hoarder. I love to share things that I find, because there's no way I can do everything that goes through my head. And like anything, some ideas are good, some ideas are bad, and some good ideas aren't executed correctly or well, or how they should be. I don't know. So that's why I'm always like, that's step one. Think with your end in mind, right? If you see an opportunity, decide how you want to enter that market and how you can make it your own and make it really a good product that you were able to sell to other people. It's the things they want, right? Okay, let's see. Any other questions? All right. That is, I think, all the questions. Does anyone else have any questions who's here live? Well, thank you, everybody, for coming live. I am super excited to talk to you, and I really hope the tips helped. Like I said, number one, I just think about putting books out there like as if I was, and it doesn't take really much money, none. You can do a lot of this for free. But I tend to think of it like, if I was going to put, $100,000 behind this, what are the things that I would do? And if you think of it that way, then you're a little bit not hesitant necessarily, but you're a little bit more deliberate in the choices you make. You say, oh, is this a good idea? Is this not a good idea? And you don't have to be perfect. Especially if you're new to this, do not feel overwhelmed. Just start and learn one skill at a time, right? Learn about research and then create something and try it. And even failures can be learning things. If you put something out there and it doesn't sell at all, there's lots of reasons, but pick one reason you think it doesn't sell and then try and fix that. If it's the cover, honestly, that might be a good place to start, because creating quality covers, that's how people buy. People do judge books by their covers. So that's something you can definitely think about and work on. Then you can start saying, oh, is my interior good? If it's just a lined interior, right? Like, there's not probably too much to improve on that, but there's probably a lot to improve on your cover or your keywords or, what market are you aiming that at? Okay, let's see. Second Spring says, I've also been helped by your videos. I've been doing around $50 a month for the last year, and this last month I did $150. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that was helpful, and I'm so happy for you. I think that is awesome. You have a happy holiday season too. I'm really kicking myself for not doing Pinterest, so you all know. I'm really I just got so busy, and I was like, oh, I won't worry about Pinterest this year. And I am really upset with myself because I'm not seeing the sales I want. And I really think it's because I didn't do Pinterest. So there's free ways out there and to do advertising and get the word out there for your books. So don't think that it all has to be Amazon. I do love Amazon ads, but I only did Amazon ads this year, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I should have done my Pinterest pins. They're not ads, they're free. I just kind of create 10 templates, and then I put all my books through the templates, and then you do all the SEO research to make sure, like, your pictures that you've saved, your pin pictures, like, has SEO and it has those keywords in it, and the description has the keywords, and all the things has the keywords that you're trying to get people to look for. So it does help. Do you teach a Pinterest class? I bought your ads class, but KDP Pinterest will be awesome. I don't, but that is something I've been considering doing, because I think a lot of people are really interested in it, and now I've done it, and then I didn't do it. I realized, gee, it was way more powerful than I thought. I'm just kicking myself, I'm telling you. And it's not that complex. It is effort and work, and that's kind of why I didn't do it this year. But I think it's kind of worthwhile. I think, like anything, you have to come up with a system. So I actually sat down, since I didn't do my Pinterest this year, and I decided I need to start doing Pinterest in a consistent manner. So I went down and sat and thought, what kind of system can I create that makes pinning much easier for me? Because I need a system to say, okay, I do A, B, C, D, and E, right? And then I just keep repeating it over and over again, because it makes it easier than trying to reinvent the wheel. So I will think about that. That's a great idea. Maybe I'll do a mini course kind of thing on it, something that's not too expensive, but it would be really helpful for people. Any other questions? Let's see. Did I miss any? I don't think so. Okay. You're not a huge, okay, so NYC Resources says, I'm not a huge fan because I don't have a system either. Yes. Like I said, I didn't do it this year. I'm kind of regretting that. But I sat down, it was like, I think last week, and I said, okay, how can I make this easier on myself? And I decided I had to create like templates and just kind of this, a whole system of descriptions and because I have to be able to like just copy, paste, and then change a few things if I want to be consistent, because time is important. So setting up a system is going to take me a while. But once I think I set it up, it's going to make things a lot easier. So that's kind of what I've been working on last week. It's still a work in progress, but maybe I can, bundle all that up and share that with you guys in a course. I think that'd probably be pretty helpful. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? If not, thank you all for being here. I hope this was helpful. I could probably would you guys like another cover critique? I know a lot of people liked that because I do think covers are hard. They're not hard. It's just that when you first start, you don't know what you're looking at and you don't you don't know what's wrong with yours. You know something's wrong, but you're not sure what. I mean, I have that problem too. I made a cover the other day and I just stared at it and I'm like, there's something wrong with it. But trying to decide what is wrong or what looks good, it does help. And I think to see other people's opinions is nice too. Silly question, but how long does it take to get to the status? Oh, I mean, how long did it take me to get here? Oh, I'm still sharing this. Why am I still sharing that? Why don't you all like tell me stop sharing that thing? You get to see me tiny. I don't, I should know that. Let's see so I've been doing KDP since 2015. Okay. So that sounds, it's kind of, I've only been doing low content books for the past 4 years, somewhere right there, probably 3.5. And that's when I actually started making money. I wrote a lot of novels. I did make some money with novels, but if you write novels, it's exhausting. I wrote a lot and I kind of got a little exhausted. So the 20 to 50K, like I said, I was in that group and 20 was really hard. I got to 20 and it kind of all fell apart and I didn't enjoy it any longer. And what was funny is I was looking at my email list, and the big thing, especially as being a novelist, is getting an email list. And I was just looking at my email list that I had created that I do not use. But I was over, I think, 15,000 people on my email list. And I probably quit at the wrong time writing my novels. I got to that point, where you're about to hit success and you quit. Yeah, that was me. But I didn't enjoy the process any longer. So I probably could, if I decided to take that email list and re-engage with it and get back, all the people I had, I probably could do pretty well. But honestly, I don't enjoy the novels anymore. So it's probably taken me about 3.5 years. And I don't do this full time in the sense of I don't sit in front of my computer and make, millions of dollars. I do it when I have time because I have 4 kids who are doing crazy things, right? So they're always doing stuff. Let's see. Have you tried the Book Bolt Studio? I do have the Book Bolt Studio. And I found I'm so familiar with PowerPoint. I use Book Bolt that I still use PowerPoint, but I do use Book Bolt for the Scout feature. What is it called? I can't remember. It's Scout. Their Scout feature, Book Scout. That's what it is. I do use the Book Scout, and then I use the keyword idea generator and the cloud generator to get keyword ideas. So I tend to use it more for research and keyword ideas than actually using it to create books. But I think the Book Scout is really awesome. It gives you, you can look up an ASIN and see what keywords they are ranking for. And then that can give you ideas on what keywords would work for you. Description critique. Oh, that's a good one. To go through and critique descriptions. Oh, that's a really good one. I will definitely do that. I bought the 6 months offer, but do not list. Yeah. I like it for research. That's what I use Book Bolt for. I really enjoy it for research, but for me, PowerPoint is the easiest, most effective. I can do the most things with it. I do probably use PowerPoint in odd ways. I actually wrote code. They have macros that you can use in PowerPoint. So I actually wrote macros. I know not everyone can do that. Sorry. I'm geeky like that. So I can write basic code. So that helps me too. So that's another reason I use PowerPoint. You are welcome. Jenny, I shared my story. Yeah, everyone knows, anyone who's watched me for a while, I do lots of things, but I love this. I love to help you guys. I love to get on YouTube and share with you guys, and Facebook and share with you guys my story, what I like to do, and how you can learn from all the things I learned. I spent so much time. I was probably that person who, researched things to death. before they actually took action. That was totally me. I'm still a research to death person. I have so many ideas and so much research, and I only put like, you know, a tenth of it out there just because of time, right? So I'm happy to share that with you all. Anyone else? Any other questions? If that's it, then I will see you all next week. Wait, let's see. What is next week? We're still, yeah, okay, we're far enough for Christmas. I'll be, and Christmas is on Sunday, right? So I'll be here live next week. I'll do one of your guys' things, digital products, ads, Pinterest. Well, the Pinterest course, I'll think about that as a course. Or descriptions. Maybe I'll do descriptions and some cover. Maybe we'll do something like that. All right. You have you have 2 kids who do crazy things. Yeah, I know. I've got 4. They're all doing crazy things. My oldest is home from college, so she's like, "Mom, we got to go do this," and "Mom, we got to do that," which I enjoy. So that's good. All right. Well, you all have a wonderful holiday season. I will see you live again next week. Thank you for joining me. I hope these tips were helpful. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please make comments. I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel. I would love it if you all make comments. If, yeah, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. All right. I will see you all next week. Bye.